At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 300 programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Happy New Year. Yes, we are live today in downtown Las Vegas. It is Follow the Money. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard. This 3-hour show is brought to you by DraftKings, and we are loaded today. So much to get into as we'll recap what took place yesterday and Saturday night in the National Football League. We'll get you your playoff scenarios and what can happen. It is very convoluted. The numbers that we have on the board, and they have been all over the map so far for week number 18. And we do have a bunch of bowl games today to get to, including the two big boys, the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. How you doing today? Anything last night? Fireworks going off at 6 o'clock?
Well,
keep you up?
Bad.
Anything?
Yeah, it was bad. No doubt about it.
Got here today. I mean, there's thousands of people still hanging out here downtown, obviously.
I'm like you. I'm always nervous driving on the streets coming into work. You know, always just...
First guy got behind today.
Oh, boy.
Doo-doo-doo. I'm like, if there's a cop anywhere close, that guy's getting pulled over right now.
Yep.
Little scary.
No, I will say last night was unfortunate. I put the game on mute and put on the new Dave Chappelle on Netflix and was watching that as the Vikings were just annihilated.
How was that, by the way?
Not bad.
Is
It's
it
only an
worth
hour.
watching? Okay.
Yeah, good. It's always worth watching. Yeah, I love Chappelle. But total debacle by Kevin O'Connell.
I can't believe the way he managed this down the stretch and last night. I mean, that's as bad as it gets. That kid can't play. He's not ready for prime time. Packers winning in now. You know, Jordan Love, the quarterbacks with the most passing touchdowns on the year. Dak has 32. Purdy has 31. Jordan Love has 30 now after last night.
Well, they're schizophrenic too. I mean, where was this against Tommy DeVito? I mean, in the bad stretch, they had
kidding.
They started strong, then they were awful, and then they looked like they were going to figure it out, and then the issues they had offensively and lost to Tommy DeVito, and now they're in a win-and-in situation coming up, and the Vikings, which the season from hell with all the injuries, but still the great defense, and now the Vikings out of it as well. So it's just been wild what's transpired at the bottom of the NFC and how things have changed at the top or near the top with the NFC East. It's wild.
Well, and I'll tell you, I mean, because the Cowboys are now the 2 seed after what happened on Saturday night, and then the Eagles blowing that game yesterday, we've had two of the worst losses of the season in the last month. The Eagles loss yesterday and the Dolphins loss against the Titans. They're as bad as it gets. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you right now, if the Packers get in, if they're the 7 and they had to go play at Philadelphia, Philly would want nothing to do with Green Bay. Absolutely nothing to do with this team.
I would pick anyone against Philly right now. Anyone. I don't care if they're at home. They allowed 51 points in the second half to the Giants and Cardinals the last 2 weeks. They are 30th in third down defense. They've lost 4 of 5. A.J. Brown has disappeared. Didn't even talk to the media after the game. There's nothing to say. I think 1 touchdown in his last 7 games. Yeah. This is an abomination what's going on.
And now Devontae Smith, after the game, was in a walking boot for the Eagles.
Yes.
It's not looking good. Defensively, I mean, folks, what has gone on with this team on that side of the... Are we serious here? It's 21-6 against the Cardinals, and you blew that. When's the last time the Eagles looked like they had an A game? Was it last year?
Yes.
When they made the run to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I guess the Super Bowl hangover, now that we're at the end of the season, has been real for the Eagles. They look terrible.
Right, and it's going to happen again. We haven't had a repeat division winner in the East since 2004. That's going to cash again. Oh. This is amazing. But it's just let's go with Patricia, and we have to change the things defensively, and then Dom getting suspended and what happened off the sideline and that mess. And now we're fortunate to come back and get the miracle win against KC and then a miracle against Buffalo. And here they are, and you were all over this yesterday. I don't care who they play. In the Tampa, Saints, I don't care. I'm picking against Philly. It's an unmitigated disaster right now. And the booing and the look on the faces of the fans and the crowd of what happened. I don't understand. I give them full marks. I know Gannon wanted to win that game. I don't understand what Arizona's doing. Get your number 2, number 3 pick and then move on, right? But they continue to play spoiler and win games here. And Murray with a horrible pick 6, and they come all the way back, and Philly can't get a stop, and they blow that game with the division on the line in the 2 seed.
Paul, I'm at such a loss at why the Cardinals would want. This is going to be one of those things where, like last night, right? People are going to wake up today saying, "Oh man, I had way too much to drink last night. That's it for me." In April, come draft time, the Cardinals are going to look back and say, "What were we doing at the end of December and January, winning these games? Why did we do that?" Now they're picking 4th. And, oh, by the way, they get the Seahawks at home. If they play people this week, the Cardinals will beat Seattle. Yeah. I will bet Arizona money line because I will absolutely get off my Seattle win total bet that I have over 8.5 from way back in July. I don't think they're going to win that game if the Cardinals want it. Because if they win this one now, Arizona's 4-12. The Giants are a big dog this week. Doesn't mean they're going to lose, but they're a big dog. Chargers, okay, they get the Chiefs. Who knows? Titans, what? So they could fall behind more teams now, and they locked up the 2. They're going to go from locking up the number 2 to sliding down to what? Maybe the 6th or the 7th pick in the draft?
I know. We just did this, guys. We just did this last year with what Houston did. Uh-huh. Okay? That game they had no business winning and showing up for, and they fired their coach, Lovey, after the game, and then you just saw the haul.
Oh, by the way, people are going to point out, well, they got it right. No, they didn't, because the team that screwed it up was Carolina.
Right.
What if Carolina had done what the head coach wanted to do, and they took Stroud, and now Houston would be stuck with Bryce Young? How does that look? It's completely different potentially.
Oh, come on. The Bears are sitting pretty. The Bears are set up here, what they've done. So this is incredible how things have changed in Chicago. But it's going back to what you said earlier, too. I mean, that Seattle loss is just horrendous. I mean, defensively, do you have a clue? The Pittsburgh Steelers are gashing you on the ground. Uh-huh. You can't get a stop. And, of course, unfrozen caveman lawyer, Pete Carroll punts 4th and 1 in Pittsburgh territory early on in a game where it's high scoring and you can't get a stop. Typical Pete Carroll. So, wild day in the NFL.
We saw a lot of that yesterday, specifically from one coach that I'll bring up a little bit later on. Based on what he did yesterday, I would not bring him back. And I'll tell you who that is later on in the program. Also, the Ravens and the 49ers, they clinched the 1 seeds yesterday. So the Ravens, that performance, after what they did on Monday night, on Christmas night at San Francisco, to come back, you fall behind 7-0 right away. And it's a 56 points. Miami's the first team since like the 40s, I think, or 50s, to score 55-plus and give up 55-plus in the same season.
Yeah.
And now Jackson won his 2nd MVP award yesterday. That's over with. And the Dolphins have to, in order to not slide down to the 6, basically, they have to win this game now on Sunday night. That's going to be your game next Sunday night in Miami. They're hosting Buffalo, and they're a 3-point dog at home for the division.
Chubb out for the year, too. Miami played the Bills, the Eagles, and the Ravens this year. They were outscored 135-46. Yeah. Mamma mia. And that is just an embarrassment.
I'll take the opposite approach here. I will say the team completely overachieved by winning 11 games because they're terrible. That can't happen.
Well, they can't beat anyone good.
That's what I'm saying. You can't compete with anybody good.
Yeah, I know. That's right. You beat Dallas at home. Other than that, when you play an elite team, it's usually a burial. Oh, and Tua can't move the ball. So we're doing this again now too. And with all the, look at the numbers he's putting up. They scored 70 against Denver, and okay, that was cute for a while, and now it's time to get down to business, and he can't do a damn thing. And he looked awful, and Lamar wraps up the MVP. So we have our 1 seeds. Do we get a rematch of the Monday night game in the Super Bowl? Fingers crossed. I hope it happens. But then again, we've had a nice run here. We've had a lot of chalk in the NFL in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, let's go back to a comment that Tony Romo made on the air several weeks ago that you kept going back to on the show when during the same game with Nance, Romo kept saying, nobody's going to Baltimore and winning in January. And we were poo-pooing that and saying, Tony, you're out of your mind. A lot of these teams can go for... Well, now that we have more data points, right, and a bigger sample size to look...
Well, they're on a roll now, yeah.
Well, now they're playing their best football of the year.
Yeah, and certainly Buffalo has issues, and KC's still a mess, even though they won. So you have to like that.
Give me Cleveland at Baltimore right now.
That'd be great, no doubt. But listen, we've been here before. He's going to win the MVP. He's had a great regular season. The team had a great regular season. Okay. You have to do something in the playoffs now. His playoff record and some of his performances and the early exits, that's enough already. Can't defend it anymore. He's got to go out there, and along with Harbaugh, when they went 14-2 and lost to Tennessee, you have the 1 seed, you just obliterated Miami, and you embarrassed San Francisco on the road. You got to go out there and get it done and go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
No excuses for Lamar Jackson. No more for the Ravens. They have to get it done now. It's set up beautifully for them. These teams are down. Buffalo's winning games, but they have a ton of issues, which we'll get to. Kansas City's a mess. Cleveland is hot, you're right, but it's still a 4th-string quarterback. Got to win that game. Mm-hmm. What, Colts, Texans, whoever wins that? A Jacksonville team? Well, come on. It's set up beautifully for the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl.
Yep, and now that's going to be a Saturday game that we have this week. They're playing Pittsburgh. Steelers have to have the game to get in, and they need some other breaks to go their way. We'll get into the scenarios coming up here in a few minutes.
Well, who's better in preseason games ever than Harbaugh? But they can treat it like a preseason, but they can play their backups. But this guy's the greatest preseason coach in NFL history.
Yeah, he's amazing. Steelers are laying 3.5 in that game. That was not the opener. I saw Baltimore won.
Oh,
when they first started trickling yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I'd have to take the Steelers based on how well Rudolph's playing and Pickens and.
What if Harbaugh announces he wants to play his guys for a half?
I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Neither would I. That's a long time off here.
I agree with you.
The other one, then, the 49ers clinched, like you said. They're a 3.5-point favorite to the Rams. Here's the deal. I think this is the way Sean McVay should look at it. They don't want to go to Dallas. They can still get the 6th seed, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather not go play?
Right.
You have to want to go play Detroit and not the Cowboys on the road. You went to Dallas earlier this year. Now, things can change, obviously. It did not go well, but I'd much rather take on Jared Goff, your former quarterback, and Dan Campbell than the Cowboys.
I'm with you.
Yep.
I think that's a no-brainer. And I would pick the Rams to beat Detroit.
And the Niners, 3.5 in that game. So,
yep.
More playoff scenarios coming up for Week 18. We'll tie in points, spreads, and totals coming up here. Happy New Year. It's Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, the final bowls here, and the VSiN experts have you covered. The semifinals tonight. Intro offer, $9.99. Become a subscriber today. Get every play from every host and guest. The betting splits let you see where the money and bets are moving every game. Oh, Mitch, the pageantry. The granddaddy of them all. College Bowl betting guide. Get picks every bowl game. Rose Bowl, 2 Pacific. VSiN.com/subscribe. $9.99. Become part of the team. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Did anything stick out to you on the Week 18 openers? And again, they've been all over the map. DraftKings had these up probably around some of the games, not all of them, but they had them up. I think it was around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time last night when I was looking.
I still think I was surprised by the Baltimore line. I thought the way Pittsburgh's looked offensively since the quarterback change, I thought they needed to be higher. It's already priced in with a win-and-in situation. But, again, they figured to sit everybody. And I know it was a horrible performance, and it blew my mind how bad Tampa looked in Baker Mayfield. 5 against Carolina, where if they win the division. How bad has Jacksonville's defense been? Right?
Last month.
Right, awful. Worst in the league. Bryce Young threw for 100 yards.
I stopped paying attention late in the game, when they had 104 yards of offense.
Right.
Overall.
Shutout. 26-0. C.J. Beathard, 100 yards passing, and then Tepper throws a drink on a fan. I mean, it is so bad how Bryce Young is. He is so bad.
Like, no chances whatsoever.
No.
It's all in the flat. It's all dink and dunk.
Yep.
That team, how many years away from doing anything is that team?
Oh, Adam Thielen, 8 for 36. You can't make it up. Oh. I mean, it's just a joke.
So all things considered now, with how just broken the offense is, I get it. These coaches are going to have massive egos as well. But you have Bryce Young, who showed basically nothing the entire year as the first pick overall, and you have to work for David Tepper.
Yep.
I mean, that is just where are the positives for that job?
Good point. 6 for 38 on Thielen. I had it backward, but that's right.
For a wide receiver.
Absolutely.
6 for 38.
6 for 38. That's their offense right there. And against a pathetic Jacksonville defense. You get shut out and your quarterback throws for 100 yards. So that was right. I would take Tampa to respond and rebound and win the division. But those were a couple that stuck out. But then again, I got to see, because I already know Cleveland came out and said we're not playing anybody. We'll see what Shanahan says. We'll see what Harbaugh decides to do. And then certainly Tampa, as I mentioned, now that one seems short to me.
So the game on Saturday night is, first of all, I thought it was an awesome job by the NFL putting Colts Texans on Saturday night. Right, it's a huge game, obviously. You actually made a good point before the show when you said they should have put Jacksonville, Tennessee early.
Yes,
to find out what happened there.
Yep, I would have done the AFC South right there.
But that early game is going to be Pittsburgh and Baltimore. So, like this number shopping around this morning, it's between like Pick'em. I'm speaking of the Colts and the Texans now. Pick'em or Colts as high as 1.5. I think it's going to just toggle back and forth between that. I don't think either team's going to touch like 3, for example, in this spot. I really want to tease the Texans, but what am I going to tease it with at this point? I mean, just too many unknowns. I might take Texans money line as well.
Hope they get it done, man. It's a great story, and we'll see if Ryans can get his team into the playoffs. There's so many examples like this of how did you lose this game? What happened here? That the Texans, great job to be in this position, but you had to play 2 games without Stroud with the concussions. Somehow you went to Carolina and lost a low-scoring game, and you allowed 30 points and a half to Zach Wilson when he won AFC Player of the Week. But still, you were awesome yesterday defensively. Tennessee couldn't get a first down. You knocked Levis out of the game. Tannehill had no time to throw, and Stroud looked good, and it was a great win. And now I just don't know what to do with the Colts, though, who let the Raiders back in the game. The Raiders, Connell actually played well. Adams had a big game.
I'm sorry, that's a brutal beat yesterday on the Colts side.
I totally agree. I had him as well, 3.5, but also took some money line. But and then laid 3 early in the week. But that was, you're getting the ball and then you run into the kicker. That led to a Raider touchdown. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting here. It's like, yeah, they could be a playoff team, and it's a great story. But I don't know how good the Colts are.
It's also 4th and inches after the Raiders jump off sides deep inside their territory. And instead of saying 3 minutes left in the game, Raiders have no timeouts, get half a yard with the push, or give it to Jonathan Taylor, get the first down. Game's over with at that point. You're going to cover the game as they kick the field goal.
I didn't like that.
The Raiders got to come all the way down, 4th and 1, and they hit. I mean, great job by Adams, but he tucks it up against his helmet. That's how he catches it. It's ridiculous. Anyway, my initial gut is I like the Texans in that game, and I'll give you another one, too, based on what happened last night. So the Packers are winning in. The opener was 1 against the Bears. They're up to 3 minus 120. I think it's going to be an avalanche of Packers money this week because the public's going to be, there's going to be a battle. The public will bet the Packers all day long with both fists, saying it's a win and in, and that's why I got to be on that side. And Green Bay's a very popular public team anyway. I think I might make the Bears, depending on what their game plan is, and why would they not play everybody this week? I think I might make the Bears, once it gets to 3.5, I might make them the biggest bet I've made all year long in the NFL.
Why?
I absolutely love them. They're playing better than Green Bay right now. You used the perfect word. They're schizophrenic, the Packers are.
Yep.
I mean, 1 week, 2 weeks in a row, they look great offensively. Then they've disappeared for weeks at a time. It's like, what am I watching here? Plus, don't forget again, according to reports, Eberflus is going to come back. Fields still playing for his job. And I'm telling you right now, this is going to be like the Lions last year, where the Bears can keep the Packers out of the playoffs. And oh, by the way, I'm 47 years old. I don't even remember this being a rivalry.
Yep.
Because, I'm sorry, Chicago fans, it's been Rodgers and Favre and now into this, and they have dominated you for 30-plus years. It's been completely lopsided in one-way traffic on Green Bay. And on top of it, when they went to Chicago and won in week 1 and they put up like 37 points, after the game it comes out, Jordan Love is getting texts from Aaron Rodgers. It's good. You still own him. Right, because he called him. Rodgers called him his daddy when he was there, and he took a person. The Bears will want to do whatever they can in this game to keep Green Bay out of the. That's why I think they have to play their guys, and I think the players are going to go to the coach and say, "We want this one. We want Green Bay."
All good points. I like the Detroit Green Bay angle from last year too. Chicago should be a playoff team. The Bears led Cleveland by 10 points in the fourth quarter. Lost. They were up 12 with 3 minutes left against Detroit. Lost.
Yeah.
If they win those 2 games, it's a 7-game winning streak.
And they'd be in as of right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
but it's also, you're going to have a chance to go over the win total now, too. But that'd be 7 in a row. And I thought it was going to happen. I go, don't do this, Chicago. Don't get hot and save jobs. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Eberflus is back. They're going to keep Fields. Now they're going to have these picks, which are going to be great. And they get the number 1 pick. You can get Harrison, see what they do. But DJ Moore's been great. Oh, boy, don't do it. To me, you got to take Caleb Williams. But Fields is playing great, and the crowd's chanting, we want Fields, we want Fields. They're going to run it back. They're just going to run it back in Chicago and go back out with this because they're playing so well down the stretch. But it's certainly what could have been. Could be a 7-game winning streak here. They blew 2 of those games.
What if you can get a king's ransom?
They can. Yeah, sure.
Then I have to do it.
Okay.
I got to do the deal.
Okay. That shall probably happen. But
there might be a team, and it could be the Commanders. Who knows? New ownership, going to have a new coach after a week from today.
Yeah.
3 first-round picks for Caleb Williams?
I don't see why not.
Is that what a team's going to be willing to give up?
Yep. And at DraftKings, he's minus 650 to be the number 1 pick in the draft, minus 650. Here's one thing I can't get over. Last week, the Bills were minus 1,600 to make the playoffs. You got to bet 1,600 to win 100. If they lose Sunday night, there's a good chance they miss the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
They can be the 2 or out. Miami's already in. But if the Bills lose and Jacksonville and Pittsburgh win, the Bills are out of the playoffs.
Yep.
They were 1,600 to make it a week ago. They didn't lose a game, though. I've never seen this before. They kept winning, but everyone around them won, and they got crazy breaks where Pittsburgh got hot and how it worked out, and the Colts kept winning, and Houston won a game here, and the Browns wouldn't lose. This is bananas.
Yep. Yeah, this is exactly what the seeding would look like under your last scenario there. If Miami wins the game Sunday night, it comes down to Jacksonville and Tennessee. If Jacksonville wins that game, and then Pittsburgh wins against Baltimore, Miami's going to be the 2, Jacksonville will be the 4, Houston or Indy will be the 6 in that scenario, Pittsburgh's the 7, Buffalo, out. See you later.
I know, out. No one wants to play them. They're so hot. Right. They kept winning games, but look what happened to the odds now, how this worked out. And we talked about it, though. Why are they so high? Their conference record is terrible. It's going to keep them out, and they're going to lose every tiebreaker. And that could be exactly what happens. Maybe they catch a break early Saturday, Pittsburgh gets beat. But on December 13th, I bet it was $1.05.
Wow. Under this scenario, I thought that game was going to open a pick 'em, and then it would just take Buffalo money. Also, the Bradley Chubb injury. Why is he in the game late like that?
Oh, they're down 30. He got hurt. Yeah. Come on, McDaniel.
All right, we're going to get into the end of the Cowboys-Lions game from Saturday night coming up next. The NFL doesn't want to hear this, but they need the ultimate nightmare situation to happen to get their attention. I'll explain coming up here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Before you make your next bet, be sure to visit vsin.com. Check the current betting splits data. Want to know where the money and bets are moving every NFL or bowl game? It's updated with DraftKings odds every 5 minutes. We're also improving our betting splits and recently added soccer betting splits from around the world. It's a great day with all the lower leagues in action today. Betting splits another way. VSiN's here to make you smarter, better year-round. Check it out. Every game, vsin.com/splits. It's a shame this was Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
How often can you do 2 hours on one game? What a debacle.
36 hours after it's over with.
Yeah, right?
Well, the Tuck rule, you could have done a week's worth of shows back then. So, but yeah, absolutely, Pauly. And how bad was Brad Allen screwing that up, the referee on the game for the Cowboys and Lions? This is how bad he was. That Mike McCarthy and Dan Campbell were let off the hook a little bit. Not fully, because other people have talked about it as well. But the way both those coaches mismanaged the end of the game, both back-to-back, that just tells me again, solidifies, Dan Campbell, obviously, he can't be coach of the year. I mean, any of that talk has just been nonsense for a month and a half. But do you want to back either one of these teams in a big playoff spot because of what they're like as coaches?
Can't do it.
McCarthy does not run the football at all?
He does this all the time.
He's the worst I've ever seen at clock management.
Yep. Well said. It just, and all these guys, and I'm so sick of it, Every time you ask him afterwards after the game, it's well, we're going to be aggressive and we're trying to win the game. Yeah, I know you're trying to win the game, but you're being stupid. You got to take 45 seconds off the clock.
Easily.
How do you throw the ball? And then the pass goes 10 yards out of bounds. And then he comes right back and he throws on third down, although they completed this one. But it's just third grade math these guys are flunking. And I like the tweet from Doug Kazarian. And would you be all over Brad Allen in a second? I'm not saying he didn't know the rule, but would you bet your life savings that Campbell still thought he was able to kick the extra point after what happened with the penalty?
Yeah.
Why would you go for 2
Why?
from the 7-yard line?
Yes, that, and then even when it's offsides, it's from the 4-yard line. You're not back from the 2-yard line or the 1.5-yard line. You're back. You're going for it at the 4. And oh, by the way, Goff threw the ball short of the goal line when it was at the 7, and he comes back and he throws it short of the goal line. Bad. That's it. He's in. The receiver's in, but Goff missed him two times in a row.
Yep.
I just kick the extra point at that point and go to overtime. You're not go for it from the 7-yard line.
There's 2 things here. Number one, there's a poker term. He was on tilt. He was so tilted by what happened because they practiced that play all week. And he went to Allen and he explained it before the game, as he said, to a T. And then Allen blows it. And it worked and they would have won the game.
I will say, Troy was on. I went back and watched the broadcast again. Troy Aikman called all of this in real time. He said, if they go for it, and once they did, Aikman said, there is a play here that Dan Campbell has had drawn up for a week, maybe more. They know exactly what play they're going to go to, right?
Yep.
And then somehow, some way, 68 goes to check in. It just pisses me off so much that happened. And oh, by the way, like I was on the Cowboys, -5 in the game as a contest play. But so this is like I feel awful for the Lions. They should have won the game outright.
No doubt. So the other thing, he was on tilt. Number 2, Dan Campbell is the guy that we all know that he's going to the blackjack table and he's not walking away with chips. He's just going to bet everything. He's going to keep betting. No, let's go. He's going to lose everything. That's Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
He's going to win a lot, but But Dan Campbell is not going to get up from that table as a winner. He's just going to bet whatever he has, and that's just
he'll get up to $300,000 on the table, and then he's gonna be like, I'm going to walk away with nothing here.
Nope. Terrible. And the implications now. How big is this play now after what Philly did? Detroit would have been the 2 seed. And it's, sorry, guys, you're going to get your letter of apology, and, what are we going to do? And Brad Allen continues to lie. I thought Rex Ryan was unbelievable yesterday on ESPN. Coaches get fired. Players get cut. I thought Brett Musburg was fantastic yesterday on the network. Brad Allen should be suspended for God knows how long.
Well, in the next year, yeah.
He was the same guy who was on the Sunday night game that's called the PI on Scantling. I mean, this crew is an abomination. And for him to come out and continue to lie, obviously the Detroit players are telling the truth, and we have the tape, and we have the film, and we have Goff afterwards, and Campbell. Sorry, guys, you're the 3 seed. Oh, whoops. I thought 70 was 68, and I screwed it up.
Yep, that's on me, guys. We good? So now Allen is not going to get a playoff game, and then they're going to have to. I don't even know how he works another NFL game, but people don't want to hear this, Pauly. Here's what has to happen, and I'm not one of these guys. I never have been. It's not rigged. It's the people that scream that all the time. Knock it off. It's totally moronic to say that. But I do feel because the NFL, they are rock solid and nothing ever affects this team. Ratings are through the roof. Gambling keeps going up. Popularity of the sport doesn't matter. They need a Tim Donaghy situation in this sport. They need something like Brad Allen to be on the fix and that for news to come out, because I'll tell you why. You're going to throw a little bit of skepticism then in there from the American public. And maybe gambling numbers go down a little bit. And what happens then directly as a result, if gambling is dialed back because you don't have faith in what your product you're watching, you think it's the WWE, television ratings take a hit on top of it as well.
You're saying the officiating is so bad and they're so arrogant they need cold water.
There's no accountability ever.
No.
So what? Brad Allen misses a playoff game and he might not be a referee next year.
Yeah.
Okay, tell that to the Detroit Lions. They should be the 2 seed instead of what they're facing today.
Yep.
That's not good enough.
Yeah.
They're never wrong. You can never go back and replay it or say, guys, you know what? I screwed up. It was 68, not 70. We got it wrong. It's going to stand. It's good. They don't do that. They don't go back and correct plays when when they get it wrong, which happens every single game, every single week.
Where's the accountability to face the media and face the bright lights? He talks to a pool reporter after the game. That's it.
That's it.
Calvin Watkins, and again, he lies.
Yeah.
He just lies. He flat out called the Detroit Lions liars.
Yeah, he did.
And there's no way. I'm 1,000% believe in the Lions and Goff. And Goff comes right out. If they fine him, that's a disgrace. Because it was Decker and it was also Goff. Because they were careful of what they were going to say. I don't want to get fined. Go tell the truth. Mm-hmm. And they did. 68 reported, 70 didn't. And Allen had it backwards. And Allen continued to lie and say, nope, it was the other way. 70 reported. Look who comes. Here's the
picture.
This photo. Put it up. This is Goff is telling Decker, go report. 68 walks right up to Allen. Allen staring at 70, skipper the whole time. And he walks right past 68, focused on 70, and then announces 70's eligible.
Yeah,
He blew it.
And by the way, when you watch the video again, Decker and Goff get closer to Brad Allen, and 70 doesn't even get like within a couple of feet of how close they are right now. And they start to go towards the huddle then.
Yeah.
It's 100% on Brad Allen, and for him to continue, dude, go find something else to do because you're never going to be on a football field ever again. That's completely unacceptable, and referees continue to get away with it, and there's no way, no how they should. It's a disgrace, and this is why, again, like the American public can be as pissed off. I'll give you an example. If you sit down and if you were watching the end of that playoff game a couple of years ago with the Rams and Jared Goff against the Saints,
Rams Saints,
1,000 people.
NFC title game, yeah.
Okay, the referee got it wrong. Well, they're not going to go back and reverse it, although the Saints should have been in the Super Bowl. That's kind of a big deal. And if you asked 1,000 people that you're watching the game with at the time, like 995 would have said absolutely pass interference. You got to leave some room for the unknown. 5 people might be a little wacky. Here's Dan Campbell, and he was fired up after the game. Oh, trust me on this one. He was irate after the loss in Dallas.
2 people can't report. I don't want to talk about it. All right? I explain everything pregame to a T. Okay? I did that. 70 reported, 58 didn't, or 68 didn't. We threw it to 68. That was the explanation.
Say what you want about that guy overall as a head coach. There's no doubt that he's telling the truth. Zero doubt in my mind.
No. My biggest takeaway, though, and Belichick said it years ago, these guys are so bad at their jobs, everything has to be reviewed.
Yeah.
You got to review everything. Mm-hmm. It's $1 billion business. And these guys are affecting games.
Yes.
And home field advantage and 2-seed now.
And as you said, coaches and their careers can be impacted by this. Quarterbacks, same exact thing. Taylor Decker, who's number 68, who reported, not number 70. Here's Decker after the debacle.
Tell me anything after the play. All I really want to say on it, just so I don't get myself into trouble, is, I did exactly what Coach told me to do, and went to the ref, said report, and I don't know. And, it's my understanding too that, Dan brings up the possibility of those sorts of plays pre-game. So I did what I was told to do, did how we did it in practice all week, and that's probably all I'm going to touch on with that.
It's the biggest play of his career. They worked on it all week in practice. He's not going to go over and report, and Goff is pushing him over there too.
And Brad Allen's going to continue to lie after the game.
God.
By the way, NFL is not a great product. I love it. I love football season. It sucks the regular season's over with next week. You take away gambling and fantasy, you're lucky to have the NBA with the NFL. Win some, lose some is up next. Paulie's going to recap the good and bad landing spots, upsets, bad beats, all coming up next here. And follow the money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All good points, Mitch, but it'll be depressing when these Mondays are over here. Love coming in and recapping all the action.
Oh, there's nothing like it.
First touchdown. How about the Patriots 15-1? They return the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Highest scoring team, the Ravens, 12-1. Highest scoring game, Ravens-Dolphins, 5-1. Lowest scoring game, Carolina, Jacksonville plus 450. Lowest scoring team, Carolina plus 750. Shutout. See that, buddy? That's your IQ. 0. 200-yard receiver. Yes, plus 650 at DraftKings. Back-to-back weeks. CeeDee Lamb does it. And the 90-yard touchdown right off the bat helped us. He had a huge game for the Cowboys. Most passing yards, Lamar Jackson, 20-1. Most receiving yards, DJ Moore, 25-1. Most rushing yards, they didn't count the Saturday games. Most rushing yards, James Conner, 30-1. Cardinal money line plus 550. Will there be a shutout? Yes, 3-1. You were all over this Friday. McCaffrey to score a touchdown. No, plus 450.
Oh, where'd you see that at?
It was $9.
No, I know that. Where'd you see the no plus 450?
Several places.
Oh, did you really?
It was $9, the high.
I never saw a no.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to bet it. I never saw one.
Yeah, really? Unbelievable.
As high as $9 told people, don't throw that into your same-game parlays.
And was pretty much 5-6 standard, though, at other places?
Oh, yeah.
Caesar's William Hill at $9.
Yeah. He was in the $5-6 range.
Yeah, unbelievable. He doesn't get in the end zone. Maryland, plus 170. Beat Auburn in the Bowls. Ole Miss, plus 190. Memphis, plus 320. Beat Iowa State. Fulham yesterday, plus 550. Beat Arsenal. And it happened again. College basketball. Florida Gulf Coast. They were a 17-point dog. They beat Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic did it again.
12-1 in the money line?
They've lost as a 17 and a 20-point favorite this year. They just beat Arizona out here. What's going on? Lipscomb plus 350. Beat Florida State. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends, Happy New Year. I'm going to put it under win some. I mean, this is Spicoli. All I need is some tasty waves and a little buzz. And look at these waves in Malibu. Now, you saw what happened Friday in Ventura with that rogue wave. But it's a surfer's paradise what's going on here, where these guys coming out and how big these waves were over the weekend in Southern California. I mean, I saw these guys with it's like Swayze at Point Break.
Say, is that Bodie?
Yeah, Bodie.
It's the 50-year storm?
Yeah, take the handcuffs off. Come on, let me go. Let me get out there.
I told you this. I watched it 2 months ago. Holds up.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good stuff.
Okay. Wow, very good. And this is a great video. This is the nosy neighbor who's a dog. Look at this guy.
Oh, this is 10 out of 10.
Yeah, how do you get up there? He jumps on the top of the fence. He's looking across at the neighbors and, jumps off the fence and then goes back, does it again. He jumps up and comes up on the tree to get up on the top, and he's just peekaboo, just looking at the neighbors. He's going from tree to tree, and he's going on the top of he's got the Jordan hang time here, what he's doing, jumping up on the fence.
Look at his balance, though.
I know,
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, right. This is a top 5 dog video. I know I've said that 20 times, but I can't believe this. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen, no hyperbole. Well, you got, it's number 12. And look at this nosy neighbor. You can do it again? Okay. All right, he's coming out, the corgi. I think it's a corgi coming out. And he's good friends with the lab. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Good to see you again. How's your day? Things all right? Now he goes over. Now he uses it in front of the glass. Come on, what are you back on? They're arguing back and forth, and they're showing teeth, and they're fighting, and they're arguing.
I told you to knock it off.
Right, when they were just good friends. Yes. But now they become two-faced. And now they become enemies because the dog separated them, and now they're talking trash, and they're showing their teeth against each other.
You all right?
Okay, let's do it again. And now he's doing it again. Now they shut the door. And he's coming in and he's talking trash. And you want a piece of me, huh? You like that, huh? Oh, hey, how you doing? Hey, how are things, huh? Happy New Year. How you doing, buddy? And it's just okay. But then when the doors open again and they have I'm talking trash and I'm going after the guy. Incredible. They're doing it again. All right, Dre, you got to put that up. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. We'll put the nosy dog neighbor up. And this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Lose some. Clemson, Kentucky under. 48.5 down to 44. Finally, we got some good bowl games here. And that was a good start with the action. Oregon State from 10 down to 5. Not even close. Blown out by Notre Dame and the under. 46.5 down to 40. Iowa State from 6 up to 10.5. Lost the game. Auburn from 2.5 got to 7. Settled at 4.5. Lost to Maryland. Wyoming plus 1.5 went off a 5-point favorite. Well, they won, but Greg Bowl, ooh. They win by 1 and beat Toledo. The Chargers from 6.5 down to 3.5, no good. And the Carolina Panthers from 7.5 down to 3.5. 26 rip. I know it was C.J. Beathard, but it's still, I don't know. Bryce Young's terrible. Lose some. This is awesome. Bad enough what was going on Saturday night. This was going on at the same time in Minneapolis. No one's safe. The NBA, LeBron James from 3. Count it, tie game against the T-Wolves in a great game. Nope. Brothers comes in immediately. Nope, I'm counting it a 2. His foot's behind the line. It was called a 2, not a 3. How about LeBron James after the game about, we got replay and we still can't get it right? What are we doing here?
I mean, it's obvious a 3. My foot is behind the line. I mean, you can see the space between my front of my foot and the three-point line. You can clearly see a white. The wood on the floor is a space in between my front of my foot and the three-point line. So there's no. Stevie Wonder can see that, champ.
Did Tony Brothers have an explanation on the spot?
Brothers did not, but I didn't talk to Tony Brothers. I talked to the other ref, and they said it was out of their hands. The Secaucus, whatever, over there in the replay center or whatever, somebody over there eating a ham sandwich or somebody made the call.
All right, that's Spectrum Sportsnet. And how good is LeBron? There's the ham sandwich. There it is. There's Steve Javie a while back when he's being interviewed on television. There's the ham sandwich. LeBron nailed it. Hey, champ. So, Stevie Wonder can see that, champ.
Are you sure, like, when he jumped, the top of his shoe did not touch the line?
I totally, I'm with LeBron. I see there's space there. There's no way that can be called a 2.
I think there is a way.
Oh, come on.
I think when he's jumping up like this and his foot is going like that, and right before he jumps, I think the very top of his shoe is touching the line.
Why wouldn't you call it a 3, though? Why would you immediately come in and say 2? You can't see that, though, on the court.
That's bang, bang. I mean, that's tough. I mean,
come on. How good is that, though? That's Spectrum Sportsnet. Hello, Los Angeles. We watch you every Laker game. We love you. That's unbelievable. Stevie Wonder can see it. Champ calls him
to
champ.
Be all over
and
that,
then the ham sandwich. There's the ham sandwich. There it is. Let's go back to Secaucus and check in with our guy, Steve Javie. Oh, he's got a ham sandwich there sitting in the back. Got a pickle? A little pickle on the side?
Oh, by the way, side note, Lakers blown out again last night by the Pelicans. What are they? I think they're 3-8 since the in-season tournament championship game.
For Anthony Davis and LeBron James to play like this, and that's their record, ugly. Bad for the books. Oh, boy. Georgia, 13.5, closed a 24-point favorite. I asked Brad Powers, would it get to 21? It got to 24.
I kicked around the idea on Friday, like, would Kirby Smart feel sorry for Norvell?
Yeah.
It didn't matter. I mean, Georgia could have done the tush-push the entire game, and they would have covered.
I know. Ole Miss, Penn State over, 48.5 up to 53. Raiders, Colts under, 44 down to 42.5, fell 43. 2 bad beats. Tottenham, Bournemouth under 3.5 yesterday. 1-0, 71st minute. They put 3 in on you late. Come on. And I had this. How about this one? How about if you had the Bengals plus 7? 17-7 late second quarter, Bengals lead. The Chiefs don't score a touchdown. They kick 6 field goals the rest of the way but cover and shut out the Bengals. 25-17. You got to be kidding. New customers can bet $5 and pocket $150 in bonus bets instantly, and you get the NBA League Pass for the rest of the season. Download the app, use promo code VSiN when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook. Crown is yours. Great job, guys. The ham sandwich. Oh, so good. Oh,
excellent job with the videos. Good recap. Good rundown. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Georgia now what? They've won their last 2 bowl games.
Oh, man, TCU, yeah.
By a combined 100 points.
Yeah.
They've scored 60-plus in both of them. And Alabama beat that team. Now, I get it, what we got with Florida State, and nobody played in the game, and it was backups to the backups.
Well, the Big Ten has embarrassed themselves.
And they have.
I mean, you want to say opt-outs and whatever, but I mean, I also would say what Louisville did, losing to Miller Moss, and it's not a good look either for the ACC, but certainly if you want to take Alabama and say it's SEC against Big Ten, I don't have no problem with it.
I got involved. I was not on a pregame, unfortunately, but I got involved in play. What a coaching mismatch between Lane Kiffin and James Franklin. Watched pretty much the entire game. I mean, Ole Miss did whatever they wanted to do offensively. Franklin and that defense. And I get it. They were without guys. I don't care. They were a 6-point favorite. They were embarrassed in that game as well. And the Ohio State performance on Friday night.
Ooh.
Wow. We'll go over what we have as of right now. A bunch of them, by the way. Most games are up for point spreads and totals. It's always a fun week. It's a tricky week. We'll talk about the point spreads for Week 18 coming up next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.